Hi guys, welcome back to Flexibility Fridays. So today we are working on our right and left splits. So we're going to use a little bit of equipment today. The first thing is a pressure point ball, just one of these. So you can see my one has nice little nubbles on it. You can also use a tennis ball or a golf ball, anything you have around your house. And then the other thing is a TheraBand, and we do want a nice dark color. We don't want like a light red, we want one of the stronger bands. Cool, so there are two parts of the body that we're going to be focusing on today. We're going to be focusing on hip flexors and we're going to be focusing on hamstrings. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off with a little before. Normally I would stack up these stretching blocks to test my range, but we're at home and I only have one stretching block, so I'm going to use a chair. Please note this is not the stretch, this is the test. I'm using a chair because I'm hypermobile in this range. Most people will not need a chair. If you're not flat in the splits especially, please don't use any kind of elevation. Just test on the floor. So as we can see, for a starting point, my right leg is a bit more flexible than my left leg. And here is my shot being interrupted by my cat. Mimi, what do you have to say for yourself? Insightful and justified. Okay, trying that again. So what I'm doing here is I'm just testing how far I can flex my feet, pushing them out in front of me. So I've got a little bit of lift through the heel there, a little bit of hypermobility through the knees. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my pressure point ball. So I'm going to set it up underneath the middle of my hamstring here. So just where the butt meets the thigh, I'm going to stretch my leg out in front of me. Don't worry about the other one. And I'm going to flex my foot and I'm going to gently pull it back towards me, leaning over towards my extended leg. So I'm going to hold it there for about 20 seconds. It really depends on your body. You want to hold it until you feel the muscle start to release. Once you do feel that muscle start to release and the tension disappear, what you're going to do is you're going to roll the ball down towards your knee and you're going to repeat it, taking it a step lower each time. So I would repeat this 3 or 4 times, depending how long it takes you for the ball to get all the way down to the end of your thigh, just above where the knee starts. So we're going back to that test from the start. What you can see here, actually I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see it more clearly, is that I now have a lot more length through the back of my leg and I can actually get a lot further on my flex through that right foot there. And if I go over and I do a little toe touch, it feels a lot more released on the side that I have done the pressure pointing on. So to even that up, I'm just going to repeat it on the left hand side. So as you can see, I've now created that length through the back of both legs and it's a lot more symmetrical in terms of how far back I can flex them, how much length I've got through that hamstring, and when I do that toe touch forward, it does feel a lot more even. Moving on now to our next exercise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my leg up and I'm going to pull it into the chest, making sure the foot is pointed and the leg is nice and straight, keeping my hips even. Now, if you cannot reach your leg, if you're struggling to reach towards the ankle, you can use a TheraBand here and you can just loop it around the foot and use the TheraBand to pull your leg towards you. So what I'm going to do for this exercise is I'm just going to put the TheraBand away because I'm not going to be using it. I'm going to pull my leg in towards me. As I bring it into its furthest point, I'm going to resist through my legs. So I'm going to push back against my hands with my legs, trying to give equal pressure through both ways, and I'm going to hold it for 10 seconds. At the end of that 10 seconds, I'm going to do a deep exhale out, and I'm just going to let the muscle relax and gently guide it towards my body. So I'm not giving it a strong pull, I'm just gently letting it come towards the floor. Then I'm going to repeat it twice more. So a 10-second hold and resist. At the end of that 10 seconds, deep exhale and gently bring the leg towards you and repeat for a 3rd time. So the idea behind this is that we're creating strength at the end range of motion. So there's no point in getting super flexible if you don't have any control over your leg at its furthest point. So we are building that strength alongside the flexibility. And I'm just repeating that all on the left as well. So in this next exercise, we're combining our hamstring stretch with a bit of an ab workout. So we're lifting our bottom foot and we're also lifting our head and shoulders. We're going to hold this for 16 counts and then we're going to switch the legs over without letting either the feet or the shoulders drop to the floor. So we hold for 16 counts on the other side, and then we hold for 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 2, and then 8 single switches. So we're trying to keep the stretch as active as possible. Now we're moving on to our hip flexors. So there are 3 stages of this one. The first one is what I'm demonstrating at the moment. The hips are tucked under, knee is directly underneath the hip. If that is too easy for you, you can lower the hip towards the floor, taking the leg out long behind you. Just use that other hand as a bit of support there, foot directly underneath the front knee. Again, if you're not feeling the stretch in this position, you can take it up another stage. So you can bend your back leg in, opposite arm to foot, and you're going to pull the foot towards your butt and let that hip sink heavy towards the floor. And repeating on the other side. Hold for around 20 seconds, just using your judgment to feel when the muscle starts to release. So this next exercise is a little bit of a strength one. What we're going to do is we're going to lift and lower our knee to the floor in a long, low lunge with the front leg turned out. So I'm thinking lengthen and lift through the front of that leg, really, really engaging that hip flexor. So for today, I'm doing 4 slow repetitions on each side. Okay, so at the end of our front splits tutorial for today, we're just going to show a quick before and after. This is my after on the right side. I was pretty flexible on the right to begin with, so there's not a huge difference, but it does feel a lot more comfortable. You will see a bigger difference, however, on the left-hand side. So this is my after for the left, and I'll just put my before up in the corner there as well. You can see that I am significantly further into this stretch now. So that was Flexibility Fridays. I hope you found this helpful. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. See you guys next week.